All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are live.
Good afternoon. This is Eureka Springs Hospital Commission regular meeting for January 19th of 2016. And again, thanks to y'all for coming out in the snow and 2026, excuse me. Is it 16? Did we go backwards? January 19th of 2026. Wow. Anyway, real quick, we'll start off with a roll call.
Kate Dreyer, Secretary.
Sharon Doremus, Commissioner.
Vivian Smith, Commissioner.
Willie Daniels, Commissioner.
David Carlisle, Commissioner.
Brian Byler, Vice Chair.
Tiffany Means, CEO.
Doug Hoven, Interim CFO.
Velvet Schultz, C&E.
Super, thank you. Okay, we need to do an approval for the December 15th, 2025 minutes. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Sharon, second. Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right. Okay, we do notice we have a gentleman in the public comments area. Again, if you'd like to come to the microphone, you've got 3 minutes to share your information. So I'll time that whenever you're ready.
Thank you. In light of recent facts that have come out regarding the financials of our hospital, I'd like to challenge this commission to totally reevaluate your self-assessment and to further challenge you to do better. It is obvious at this point this commission is failing in the primary obligation to provide oversight of our publicly owned and tax-supported hospital. There is no cause for celebration or self-congratulations when it has been obvious for at least 2 years that the CFO has been a huge problem, not only with leadership and training, but the actual basics of accounting. Your chairpersons have not only accepted this deplorable work, but championed and bragged about it. The new CEO cannot be expected to be successful without accurate financial information. And the community has learned that the statements from this commission cannot be trusted at all. Both recent chairpersons have misrepresented and even lied to the council and the public. There has been illegal meetings and continuous deception, not the transparency that has been claimed. With all this recent history in mind, I have a few questions to ask. What other outstanding bills are we going to discover? How much has been paid or still owed to Gabriel Millard or other attorneys for legal services, and what did the public get for our money? What budget provisions has this commission anticipated for upcoming trials and possible judgments for unjust firings of the former CEO and the Director of Nursing? Will the new interim CFO be looking into the possibility of fake vendor accounts or other illegal schemes that may have been going on? Will the commission consider an in-depth forensic financial audit instead of the inexpensive cursory audit that is inadequate to give the community confidence in the integrity of the accounting that has become obviously faulty? Will this commission consider that they are unable to manage the hospital and would look at contracting competent management?
Thank you for your comments. Appreciate it. Thanks for coming out on a cold day. Appreciate it. Okay. Our Chairman Sandy, that has been removed last week, she sent a notice asking us to read for public comment her last comments with council. So I'm going to read this. This is from Sandy Martin, our ex-chair. She wanted this for public comment. The political posturing came as no surprise. What is surprising is the lack of knowledge, the tremendous improvements at the hospital, and the clear focus on quality patient care. Regardless of the unfounded accusations otherwise, the hospital commission was and is paying close attention to the financial and internal operations. That should be obvious in the fact that the hospital now has a new experienced CEO and CFO. In 2024, the Commission knew the hospital needed new, stronger, and more experienced leadership to move the hospital forward. We waited to hire a new CEO until after we got cleared by the state of the survey findings. Once cleared, we secured that leadership when we hired Tiffany Means as the new CEO. Her first responsibility was to do a comprehensive review of all operations and to make recommendations for improvement, efficiency, and realignment. It takes time to get the right people with the right qualifications in place, and the hospital now has the leadership it needs to move forward. Financials and internal accounting procedures are being addressed by the new CFO, along with improved financial reporting. I am very proud of what the dedicated commission and the new CEO have accomplished in a very short period. I stand by all the decisions we and I made from the mid-2024 to present. The hospital is on mission to provide quality health care and grow services with a clear focus on people and not politics. Again, that's the last word from Sandy Martin, previous chair.
Thanks, Brian. Did we get a vote on the approval of the agenda?
We did not.
Just the minutes? We got the minutes, and then we'll vote on the agenda?
Let's go and, yeah.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
I so move to vote on the agenda for today. Do I have
So moved.
Second.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Apologize, folks. Thank you. All right, so now we've got the CEO's report. Tiffany Means, if you would,
Okay.
the floor is yours.
Good afternoon on this cold, blistery day. I want to begin by grounding today's discussion in what matters most. It's our patients and our community. Every decision I make as CEO is guided by one responsibility: to protect access to safe, reliable health care for the people of Eureka Springs and the surrounding region. Transparency, accountability, and stewardship are not optional in that responsibility. They're essential. Many of the operational, regulatory, and financial challenges discussed today did not originate in 2025. The years 2023 and 2024 represented a pivotal period for Eureka Springs Hospital, during which, in my assessments, have been a weak accountability, poor financial structure, ineffective decision-making, contributed to unresolved deficiencies entering into the year 2025. These conditions, including financial disorganization, lack of cost strategy, limited revenue optimization, and extensive regulatory plans of corrections that was cited on in November of 2024 were in place prior to my arrival. Since assuming the role of CEO in August, I've conducted a very thorough professional assessment of the past plan of corrections. I know you all have seen them as well. Available financials, policies, regulatory history, and organizational performance. While those findings were serious, they provided the foundation to learn from what did not work and move decisively toward disciplined, accountable operations. Just for example, presently, I meet with leaders one-on-one each month. It is an accountability model to ensure they are fully supported, have their resources to perform their job duties, and assurance all rule and regulatory compliance is being followed strictly, closely, and with safe practices. All the while, this transition is focused on sustainability, compliance, a respectful and forgiving workplace culture, and most importantly, safe, patient-centered care. While I stepped into the role of CEO, in September, the 2024 financial audit had recently been presented. And as a new leader, I took the audit seriously, even though I just had got it that day. I listened to how they presented. I had a lot of questions. I made notes. I kept that binder there with me. I tried to fully understand its findings, implications, and underlying causes, just being 45 days in. I had a lot of questions and important questions about the material weaknesses and significant deficiencies identified. I did make efforts and connected with our external auditors at that time in October with Forvis and the two presenters that were here. I requested further explanation so I could responsibly assess what those findings meant for the hospital, our patients, and our future. I spoke also with the financial supervisor of client services of the Rural Health Redesign Center, a support of our REH model. As I began requesting support information internally, it became clear that accessing complete and reliable financial data would take time. Information was fragmented, difficult to reconcile, and in some cases raised more questions than answers. That process did not bring immediate clarity. It led to deeper inquiry. Over the past 6 months, as part of my fiduciary responsibilities to this community, I have continued to assess, verify, evaluate our financial position. The combination of unresolved audit concerns, limited transparency, and ongoing inconsistency made it clear that a more comprehensive review was necessary. Following the termination of our former CFO, my interim CFO, Doug Hoban, and I re-engaged with Forvis on January 6th. That discussion again confirmed together the need for immediate corrective action and marked a clear transition towards financial accountability and stabilization. The 2024 audit and subsequent internal reviews identified material weaknesses and significant deficiency and a systematic breakdown in financial controls and oversight. This has been validated again with our current interim CFO, Doug Hoban. Here's some key specific areas. Financial reporting and monthly close processes were not reliable, resulting in material errors in reported financial information. Patient accounts receivable were not being adequately monitored, affecting revenue accuracy and cash forecasting. Accounts payable controls were insufficient, creating risk that material errors would not be detected in a timely manner. Capital assets were not being properly tracked, requiring audit adjustments to correct balances. Accrued payroll was incorrectly calculated, distorting current liabilities and impairing cash flow planning. Leases were not recorded in compliance with GAS B87, requiring material corrections. Subscription-based IT arrangements were not recorded in compliance with GAS B96, also requiring corrections. Most importantly, cash reconciliations were inaccurate or incomplete, leading to audit adjustments. These findings directly impact our ability to forecast cash, plan responsibility, and ensure long-term stability. Reviewing rolling monthly financials through November 2025 revealed that many of these issues had not been corrected. Deductions from revenue ranged from 35% to as high as 111% in a single month. Bad debt expense was largely unrecorded. Depreciation expense remained unchanged for nearly 10 months. So today, with all of this, we cannot bring you the December financials. The decision was made deliberately. Doug and I have been working very closely and trying to validate accuracy, completeness, accessibility of underlying data. Integrity must come before speed. Eureka Springs Hospital has also identified a systematic revenue cycle and billing issue that requires immediate review and correction. These findings were not taken lightly and reflect our commitment to transparency, again, accountability, and patient-centered financial practices. Eureka Springs Hospital identified multiple vendor contracts, Doug and I, that had not been reviewed or updated in several years. Leadership initiated a comprehensive review of all active contracts to ensure the hospital is not being billed for services that are no longer provided or required. Contracts are being updated as appropriate, and in several cases, services are being competitively bid to secure better pricing and ensure responsible stewardship of public funds. In November, issues with accounts receivable processes were identified, and that required immediate attention. These gaps highlighted breakdowns across billing workflows that directly impacted patients. We acknowledge these failures and affirm that care does not stop at discharge. It continues through the accurate, ethical, and timely billing. Corrective actions are actively underway at this time. We are retraining and restructuring our front-end admissions and registration workflows to ensure patient identification and insurance information are collected accurately, completely, and consistently at the time of service. These improvements are critical to preventing downstream billing errors and protecting patients from unnecessary financial hardship. In December, we began receiving calls from patients regarding their 2024 services, where patients reported receiving collection notices without having previously received clear or timely billing statements. Doug and I immediately initiated an investigation into these concerns. This is what we have found so far. During the week of December 29th, we investigated the following. Legacy data, which is our previous MedHost, housed they house the financials in MedHost. An incomplete or inaccurate transition of historical accounts during the migration from Legacy to Oracle occurred. Lack of documented review of affected accounts prior to collection and placement was not done. Accounts originally placed with a former collections vendor, RMC, which later sold those accounts, that was in December of 2024. They sold these accounts to our current agency, Mid-South. We had a phone conversation with Mid-South because we were receiving lots of contacts from patients that they were just receiving the bill for their first time from 2024. It was later identified by Mid-South that they never addressed the bucket of RMC collections, all of the list. They never did anything with that for a year. So when they recognized that they did not do anything, this is when the letters go out, and this is when the patients started calling the hospital going, why am I receiving this bill from a 2024 perspective? So we're working on that to correct that. We've obtained the list and we're vetting through all of those items, but it takes time. There's a lot. Delayed collection activity that resumed, again, approximately 1 year later is resulting in patient confusion and concern. We take this very seriously, and I've talked to many patients on the phone personally. So we're actively reviewing all impacted accounts to ensure billing accuracy, compliance, appropriate patient communication is conducted. Collection activity is being evaluated and solutions are being pursued that align with regulatory requirements and our mission to serve patients with integrity, fairness, and transparency. A revised financial and billing policy has been developed to strengthen oversight, vendor accountability, billing timeliness, and patient protections. This policy is currently moving through the formal process right now and reflects our commitment to sustained operational improvement and public trust. So I go into responsibly close the chapter of the past, and I use Driscoll's reflective model. What happened? So what does it mean? Now what must we do differently? So what happened? Again, over the past 3 years, the hospital experienced poor organizational structure, weak management discipline, inadequate compliance, and flawed financial operations. So what do we do now? The conditions we are addressing today fundamentally weakened the hospital's ability to operate responsibly. Inadequate financial structure, inconsistent leadership accountability, and poor regulatory discipline did not simply create bad reports. They impaired decision-making, obscured true performance, delayed corrective action, and placed unnecessary strain on staff and patients. When financial systems lack integrity, leaders cannot accurately forecast cash, invest strategically, control costs, or plan sustainability. When accountability is unclear, problems persist instead of being resolved. When compliance issues are not corrected thoroughly, risk compounds, affecting licensure, confidence, payer relationships, and public trust. These issues did not suddenly appear. However, their consequences surfaced clearly in 2025, left unaddressed, and they would have continued to erode operational stability, increase patient and staff burden, and threaten the hospital's long-term viability. So that reality required a clear break from past practices and a disciplined shift in how this organization is managed. So now what? We're going to close that chapter. We're rebuilding structure, accountability, controls, and culture. As a national winning collegiate coach teaches, mediocrity and high achievement do not mix. Today at Eureka Springs Hospital, we're committed to high performance, best practices, compliance, and patient-centered care. This is not personal, it's professional. We are moving towards serving our community beyond emergency care by expanding access, strengthening continuity, engaging our community in belief and trust, and keeping care local. I stand firm on our pillars of what we are committed to. Patients first. We center every decision on what is best for those we serve. People matter. We invest in growth, accountability, and performance. Progress always. We lead through innovation, technology, and regulatory excellence. Leadership is tested when systems must be rebuilt while care continues every day. I believe this hospital can be stabilized and strengthened by truth, standards, and patient-centered leadership. I am fully accountable for leading this hospital forward, deliberately, transparently, and in service to the people who depend on us. This work requires patience, discipline, and the courage to correct course while care never stops. We're doing that work every day. Eureka Springs Hospital will remain open, grounded in its mission, and lead with integrity because our patients, our staff, and this community deserve nothing less.
Thank you, Tiffany. Thank you very much. Comments, guys? Any questions for Tiffany? They're all quiet. All right. Well, Doug, if you'd go ahead and do the CFO, if you have anything to say or anything to report at all.
I'd just like to add to Tiffany's comments about, as I onboarded, we felt that the first and most necessary was to meet with the auditing company that provided the audit back in September. And there were numerous issues identified and weaknesses, the most significant being the cash management. I think it's no secret that it's been noted the commission has seen over a 38% decrease in the cash reserves of the operation in the past year. To begin to shore that up, we now have daily access to the local bank account. It's checked every morning. Outstanding checks are identified. So we know at any one point in time the amount of dollars that are so-called floating, written but not yet presented to the bank. Obviously, the commission is putting things in place to ensure that you all as the commissioners are aware of when transfers are requested, moving money from our lockbox or where all the inflow of cash comes to our operating account, which is where all the expenses come out of. Hopefully, we can continue to keep track of that and improve on that as we go forward. The other comment I would like to make is noted in the audit was the fact of the huge swings in contractual reserves on a monthly basis, along with the bad debt recorded on a monthly basis. As Tiffany commented, there was huge swings ranging from 35% on the low end in 1 month to 111% of the gross revenue generated in that month. In meeting with the auditors, there was discussions back in September of using a model of what's outstanding to try to best average out or approximate what the contractuals should be going forward. In addition, that calculation would be used to determine the reserves for bad debt, and entries should be made associated with that model. To the best of my investigation, it does not appear that that model was ever implemented, as we continue to see the huge swings.
Thank you, Doug.
Thank you, Doug. Appreciate that. Again, any comments or any? Okay.
The only question I might have is that there hasn't been anything, let's say, illegal done, correct?
I can't say for sure, but I think most issues that have been identified was just a lack of in-depth review.
Thank you.
Anybody else? All right. Well, how about time for the clinical and trauma report?
Virginia, you act like you were going to say something.
Vivian.
Or Vivian, I mean, you act like you were going to say something.
No, I guess as a commissioner, how do we see this? How could we have seen it? What do we do in the future? I don't know.
I think it was when I came on, I tried to share transparency in the presentation in a better way, but it was not met with willingness to do so. But I think moving forward, and actually Doug and I talked about this, how we present the future is definitely going to give you a more clear picture. It's going to be more transparent, and I think it will also give those out in the community a better understanding as well when we're fully sharing everything in our meetings that should be shared and that should be on our financials and should be on lined items. So I think that the council has brought this up many times, and going back and reviewing those things, and I reiterated that as well, that moving forward, some of these items are going to be added to in the financials in February.
If I may interject, we've also reached out to the Rural Emergency Hospital Coalition. Again, this is a unique status that this facility is in. We are one of 44 facilities, I believe, across the country currently with that classification. And we wish to partner with them as we forge this new era of rural emergency hospitals to report information accurately, timely, and consistent with other types of facilities such as ours.
Thanks, Doug. Yeah, I'll amen that, I guess would be the word. It sounds like our REH has got some great people in place to help and assist us in all these facets of what we're doing in the financial and the clinical. So I think we've got a good group behind them. I know Tiffany's been on the phone with several, and it sounds like we've got some good groundwork laid. My only comment about the thought process of looking at the books, I guess would be the word I use, because we sit here every month and look at the financials, and there's so much detail there that, you know, as commissioners, I feel like maybe some of us need to take on certain parts of that basically formula or whatever we're using, whether it be, I know one of the biggest concerns that we've shared is the fact that how many patients this billing thing to these patients and going to collections, obviously a huge problem. And therefore I feel like we need to be in kind of a checks and balance as a commission to look at certain areas. And I just think about the idea of maybe a little bit more breakdown. Maybe a commissioner might look at one area to help just kind of get a feel for it. So when we're talking about things, they can be able to say, hey, yeah, I looked at that and got a question about this, and you know, then we can discuss. But I'm just kind of throwing some ideas around there where we as commissioners can be more involved in understanding these areas of that financial report. And so I just kind of threw that out there. But you know, you guys, again, great job. What can we say? I mean,
Right.
if this had gone any further, where would we be right now? You know, so with that.
I have the much brighter, happier this meeting. Certainly. I just want to start the clinical report with just a letter that Tiffany had passed on to me that was received last week when I was gone a couple of days. This patient writes to us and says, please let them know personally that things have improved so much at the Eureka Springs Hospital. I have visited there a couple of times recently and have been treated so well. The doctor explained everything to me very well, and I understood everything. I followed up at the VA today, and they were very pleased with the care I received at Eureka. I would recommend the Eureka Hospital to any and everyone. I personally will be coming back there. I was very impressed with the way the hospital has improved. The recent visits have made me happy with this hospital. The patient care staff wanted to let you as the patient, I wanted to let you know how good it has made me feel to be well taken care of by the staff. It's always good to hear that someone says something like that. And I ran into a gentleman with Kate last week when I was grabbing some lunch who I was not sure what he was going to say to me when he said he'd recently visited us, but he was very complimentary for our staff. Apparently he lives in this area and has been to the hospital numerous times, and was very pleased with what he's seen when he was there. So it's always good to continue to get the good feedback from the patients. I gave you a copy of volumes. It's just a Excel sheet that we keep track of to kind of keep track of our different things that we look at, leaving the total census, leaving without being seen, AMA, our door-to triage, door-to-doc time, our total length of stay, which we continue to work on, and of course our EMS volume. The two things we really focus the most on there are our census and our EMS volume. At this point, with the average census that we've had in January of 2026, we're slated to see 100 more patients than we've seen in January of 2025. Our average census for EMS already for the month of January, just being the 19th, has exceeded by 20 more ambulance visits than what we had in January of 2025. So clearly our volume continues to climb. December of 2024, to give you an idea, we were at 150, and in December of this last year, we were at 178 for patients. Traditionally, in January should be our lowest months. Our staffing update is we continue to have the one nighttime traveler. We recently hired a full-time nighttime paramedic to fill the last traveler spot. So we have the one, it's really 2 shifts a week, but we're working around it that I can't fill them yet until we have one more full-time person, and then that'll eliminate our last contract labor for that shift. Just to give you an idea from scheduling, I don't want to bore you with some of that stuff, but we had 1 empty shift in January, and the February schedule only has 1, night and day both. That we have enough PRN people we've gathered, enough of our own clinical staff to fill the vacancies, and Just to be quite honest, if no one picks that up, that would be me. That would be, which is fine. That's fine. But it's not like there's 15 of them, or there's half the month. There's only one, so that's a good thing. As we continue to do the internal restructure a little bit inside the hospital, doing some reallocation of some of the space. I was showing Tiffany this morning, and we're going to be opening up 2 public meeting rooms that'll be able to fit 10 to 12 people. We'll work out the process about how to reserve them. We've just recently decided to reallocate that to be able to be used as public space, but there'll be 2 of them that'll fit 10 to 12 people apiece. The other announcement that we have, the gentleman sitting next to me is Jack from Survival Flight. He works as the director of operations there. And this will really be the first time we're able to announce that we are in the process of working out an agreement for them to be based out of the Eureka Springs Hospital. The aircraft will be based there, as well as their crew in the new crew quarters just adjacent to the hospital. We're repurposing a space that we have there to accommodate them. And we anticipate that March, April-ish is about procuring the aircraft and getting it set up for use is kind of the holdup a little bit. So we're pretty excited about that.
Oh, you should be. I have goosebumps. I'm so excited.
Yeah, we're kind of a little bit in an air desert out here a little bit when you look, and going by ground, I know Brian Sun can tell you, it's rough. We sent a super sick patient last week that because of weather, we couldn't fly, and it was an hour and a half around a windy road with a really sick guy.
Yeah.
It was made us a little bit nervous. The crew did a great job. It was actually Eureka. They were there in the blink of an eye to get him and did a great job, but it does make you nervous to be able to send him by ground.
A question about
Sure.
survival flights. Are you associated with, is there some sort of pre-planning payment system that you guys offer? Is it integrated with other flight services
We do.
around?
Yeah. We have our own membership program, and that's something that once we get out here and get in the community, we'll roll that out, and they'll be easily, make it easy for anyone to enroll in that. But it's a small annual premium. It's modeled just like some of the other memberships that you may be familiar with, some of the other air providers. But it'll be a small annual premium, and that'll cover, the benefit would cover anything that your insurance wouldn't if you're to be transported. So
So that would
immense value.
provide coverage only for your service, and just like the others are
Correct.
individual.
Yeah.
So if somebody wants to be covered in the area, you've got to put out 3, I believe, small annual fees.
Yeah, we as an industry tried to collaborate and try to combine those, but with the lawyers got involved.
Surprise.
So we weren't able to do that, but that was something that our competitors and our teammates in the industry tried to do. And so that if you're traveling and you go from one service area that we may be the provider to another one, that there would be, it would be seamless as far as your coverage goes. We weren't able to do that, but we certainly have a robust membership program and certainly cover you in this area and really all throughout the state of Arkansas.
Thank you.
You bet.
That's a great question, especially the fact we deal with so many tourists coming to the area. So again, if they had to use your system, there is no way if they've got a membership somewhere else away from the area, or Oklahoma, Kansas, Texas, there's nothing in the works to help with that kind of exposure. Am I correct in the industry?
Yes, in the industry, correct. Yeah, there is no conglomerate or no universal membership that would cover you from services. However, what I will tell you is that we're the largest provider in the state of Arkansas. We're one of the largest providers in the state of Oklahoma. We have aircraft in Missouri, aircraft in Illinois. So our membership network is extensive.
Sure. Okay.
We're in Tennessee, we're in Alabama, a little bit further away, but we don't cover every state, but we do have a membership
Still have a good
presence in the Midwest. Certainly.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yes, this is one of many that we're excited to share in our strategic growth plan, and we're excited about this partnership and journey because, again, it's about being here, being present, serving our community, and getting them stabilized and shipped to where they need to go in a timely way. And as we get closer to the actual timing, we'll do some ribbon cuttings, we'll do some different things, and we'll be very transparent out into the community, talking about it and sharing our new partnership with.
And I think as far as, we all know here at the table that having that unit right here on the spot and not have to wait even that 20, 30, 40 minutes, an hour, whatever, but to get another unit in here, for our public and our community to understand now that they have got that kind of protection to add to any of their care they need, that unit's right here and ready to go. So we look forward to that relationship.
You bet.
So,
And to our visitors also.
yeah.
Hopefully, we could, I don't know, work with the hotels or with the CAPC in their advertising, that any visitor, somebody looking, where am I going to take a short little holiday, and if they know that we have someone on the ground for any emergency, that, that's a huge feather in the cap. So, congratulations to the deal workers over there who got this in place for us. But I do have a couple of questions on the report that you gave, if it's time for that.
On the report?
Time for that? Okay.
Yeah.
So over on the behavioral patients going down November and December, quite an uptick from single digits up to 14 and then 10. And I'm just curious if y'all think it was just a holiday, how things get a little rocky for folks during the holidays, or has there been some outreach on our, that we instigated to the mental health community? I'm just curious.
As much as I would like to say, yes, Kate, it's me, it is not. 37 years in emergency medicine, I can tell you, November, December, January are your highest months for behavioral health.
Okay. Well, but we're working on that other angle
Absolutely.
Of mental health
Absolutely.
outreach, so, okay.
We actually have some things in play to benefit our mental health patients. We really can't elaborate further, but I can tell you there's some pretty aggressive plans
Cool.
to improve that care.
Thank you.
Awesome. Any more questions? Great job. Thank you for that information. And again, look forward to the relationship.
You bet.
All right. So now we've got new business. How about election of a chair? Do I have anybody that nominated to be the person to replace Sandy?
Nominations, yes. I'm nominating Willie Daniels to be our new chair. Thank you.
Willie, do you have any comment, or you want us to go ahead and give you the thumbs up? What do you want to do? You have any comment?
I think we've got a good team in place. I think, I think we can work well together. I'd be honored to accept this chair.
Thank you. I believe we probably just have a vote as far as. Yeah, that's right. Let's have a motion first off.
I move that Willie Daniels be appointed chair.
I'll second that.
Okay. All those in favor by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? Willie, thank you. Thank you for stepping up to that. That is from this commission and even the hospital. We appreciate you doing that.
Well, thank you. I look forward to
Thank
working.
you. Awesome. Awesome. Okay, under the same new business, we're going to the removal of Sandy's Martin from the signatory of the bank. And I believe what we do then is Willie, Kate, I know that you and I are signed, but we need to get Willie's signature then.
He'll have to go, since he's been voted in, he'll go over to CS Bank, and I can get with you after the meeting of whom to ask for, and then you sign that card.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so we got that resolved?
But we're going to vote on removing Sandy, right?
Yeah, that's true. Okay. So the motion to remove Sandy Martin as a signator on the bank. account?
Motion.
Okay. Second?
Second.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? Okay. All right, so moved. Okay, commissioner comments. Kate, I know you're writing. You want to start with Sharon, let her, or you ready?
Well,
Okay.
No, I appreciate very much, a lot of things. The detailed report from our CEO. I appreciate the effort of our interim CFO in so quickly drilling down all the different areas where we needed to drill down. Our clinical trauma and all the work that you're doing. Thank you, sir, for coming on with your aircraft to support our community, not just the citizens of Eureka, but our many, many, many visitors who trust that Eureka is a safe place and fun place to come and bring their families. I appreciate, Willie, thank you for stepping up. I will support you in any way that I can, sir.
Appreciate that.
And I appreciate our visitor for public comments. Understand everything that he had to say, and except for one part, and I hope that he will listen to this and come back next month with the accusation of illegal meetings. So if he can bring back a date and time and who participated in the illegal meeting, that will help me personally to have better oversight and support of my fellow commissioners going forward. So that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thanks, Kate. Sharon, anything?
Wow, it was a great summary by Kate. I agree with everything she had to say, yes. Once again, I appreciate everybody and their effort that go beyond and above.
Yeah, thank you. That's all I can say.
Yeah, you know, it's one of those things that I feel a lot more confident now in hearing what Tiffany and Doug had to say about what's going on and what the fixes are and the transparency that's to come. And so, great job, guys.
Thank you for the report, for the clarification of the things that have been kind of floating but inaccessible to my ability to read what we were looking at before, and to have the feeling that we'll be provided with factual basis to decide that we're operating effectively or not. And the other developments on the clinical side, that's great. It's great to have a service approaching us to be a little closer in our slight isolation from the major centers. On a personal note, my wife got to spend a few hours in the ER this past week, and it was an exemplary performance of an ER. Thank you.
Wow, fantastic. Yeah, I can ditto it all. To me, I think what we need to do for 2026 is prove to the community that they can trust us, not only in the clinical, which we already know the clinical has proven itself in these last 6-8 months of quality care, outstanding quality care. There's no question that we've come so far in such a short time with quality care. You know, we've seen that obvious now. And now the financial side of it, which basically is the foundation of this hospital's survival, to get this corrected and get it moving in the right direction. And Doug, I mean, I know Tiffany and all this, but to have you come on board at this time, it's just been incredible to have you come on. Your professionalism, your knowledge, appreciate everything you've done and everything you've been doing and are going to do. Can't say enough about that.
Thank you very much.
Great team, great team. But again, I think the community needs to know that we're here to support them 100%. And I say community, I'm talking about the 4-lane bridge at 62 Highway, all the way out to Beaver Lake into the cutout in Benton County line, where we serve, into Holiday Island in the Table Rock area. We have a large community here that Eureka Springs Hospital supports, and it's vast. And I think that we need to know that we are the shining star, I guess, or just that point where people know they can come somewhere close and be taken care of. And the helicopter's just going to be nothing but a positive support in the whole picture. I think we just got a great thing happening. If someone needs to be air vac, I realize I'd love for them to have the insurance, but the number one thing is that their life is on the line, and we want to save that life. And I do believe another thing, I've heard some positive things about our stroke. I believe we got recognized for both the fire department and the hospital. Can anybody elaborate on that? I didn't mean to throw that on the
From the
table.
Arkansas Department of Health acknowledged us for outstanding stroke care in their last round of awards, for lack of a better word. Acknowledgement.
And that includes the fire department, right? Both
Correct.
the hospital and the fire department. Guys, is that not incredible? You know? But again, thank you for everything. And Willie, again, thank you for stepping and taking on that position with all we've been through. Thank you. So.
And I'd just like to say that we're working hard at trying to get our website refurbished. It takes a little bit because that is not, I will admit, I don't know a lot of that technical piece, but we do have our social media page up and running, the new one, and it is coming out very energetic, informative, educational. We have some things lined up through there, so continue to go on there on the social media page if you want updates, if you want to see our award and our recognitions and announcements and all of those things. We're going to be doing some more community partnerships. That's where we're going to be announcing these things, dates, times, places, stuff like that. So like us on those social media pages.
I've got you on Facebook, and I thought it's nice.
Yeah.
Anyone else?
Well, I do have a question about the public meeting spaces. Is this something that that someone would, well, how would they reserve it, and is there a fee for it, or is it part of a community service from Eureka Hospital?
It'll be part of a community service. There will not be a fee for the room. And we're in the process of working about which of us will be doing that scheduling.
Okay, thanks.
There's not a lot of us, Kate. But we'd like to work on an electronic process where we could do that.
All right. I'm ready to wrap this thing up. But real quick, I had a conversation with Tiffany. We're not going to do a workshop the 1st of February, okay?
Second.
We'll kind of let that flow or as things go. If there's a need for the workshops, we'll have one. But at this time, there's nothing on the agenda for that reason for a workshop, okay, 1st February. So our next regular scheduled meeting will be February 16th, 2026, okay? And it's going to be at 1 o'clock. It's going to be here in the auditorium. And, with that, I have a motion to adjourn the meeting.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Thank you, guys.